Welcome to another episode of the Potential Success Show. My name is Fong, and today we have another great guest. This is somebody who I've been a part of a networking group together, and he's always added great value to that group. And he is somebody who comes highly recommended by lots of people for what he does, and he's very, very good at what he does. He has over 15 plus years of experience in psychometrics, helping HR groups, sales groups, executive boards, and also business owners and departments improve their sales, improve their ability to hire, improve their personnel. And he's just so good at doing that kind of stuff, helping them, educating them, teaching them to unlock the human potential in business. He's been able to help them achieve their business goals and also solve problems with using psychometric tools. He's part of FACET5, a very highly recommended personality profiling system, helping organizations with team building, improving their HR, improving their hiring, and of course, increasing their efficiency as well. So please welcome entrepreneur, personality assessment expert, Piotr Sosinski.
Wow, thank you for so warm welcome, and I'm curious what will happen. Thank you for having me in your podcast, and I'm all yours and happy to help.
Awesome. Well, thanks
Thank
for
you.
being here. Always a joy. And this is a topic that always kind of interested me. And that's because uh, people sometimes don't know why certain results are the results they are. They don't know why certain things are the way they are. But it comes down to the personality, comes down to what they do, their backgrounds, and all kind of stuff. But going into personality assessments and finding out their characteristics and all that kind of stuff, that is a very unique niche of expertise. How did you get to picking that as your specialty? And then also, why is it so important for people to know who they really are?
That's a very good point and nice question. So I don't know if you know that about me, but I was a lawyer and I hated it. And why did I hate it? Because I couldn't afford a suit for work and I needed five of them actually. So basically being a lawyer is something different than being in Poland, of course, than being a lawyer in United States or in Canada. In Poland, competition is huge and salaries are very low. So I moved to next industry, which for me was banking industry. So I was getting better in terms of, I was getting better financially, but still I wasn't rich neither in terms of money or happiness. And only when I started working at FACET5, I felt that I'm in the right place with the right people in the right time. So it was aligned with my purpose, with my mission, and also with my values. And it's very interesting what you said at the beginning, because as when you're, it's good we say often say in psychometrics that we don't have good or bad scores or good or bad personalities, but there is a good or bad fit. And when you are connected to what you are doing, this is where when fun comes to your life, because I strongly believe in the power of coaching. And now I'm working with three coaches, and which is quite funny because I'm a typical left brainer and I'm working with all of my coaches, probably as you also, and all of my coaches are right brainers. And one of my coaches told me that he was working with, he heard from a famous Polish soccer player. I'm sure you are familiar with the name Robert Lewandowski. And Robert Lewandowski said, sorry, that when you are at the age of 30 and you can still learn something new, that means you missed something important during the way, along the way. And be aware that Robert Lewandowski said this from the soccer player perspective. So for him, 30 years old is different than for us, like 50 or something like that. Basically, every one of us have some kind of talent, which is good news. But the problem is most of us don't know what is it. So my point here is when you can discover your talent at the early stages of your life, this is what is meaningful. And that's why I am doing what I am doing. I'm discovering what people are good at, and I'm helping them realize their potential and to make their life and to have some fun in life during your working hours.
That's so important. If you don't enjoy what you do, it's a drag every single day. So I want you to put your current hat on and
Mhm.
go back in time to use your psychometrics on yourself
Hmm.
right before you're a lawyer, would you
Hmm.
have been able to detect certain things about your past self that would have given you signs that being a lawyer was not right for you?
Yes, of course, because that's what everybody else was telling me that I should be a lawyer. But truly, deep inside me, I felt that this is not the right choice, and this wasn't obvious when I was, let's say, 16 years old, but it's obvious for me now. And yes, I think when you can take a look at the data and you can see in your personality profile what are your strengths, what are your risks, but also what frustrates you and what motivates you, what are the challenges during the way, it's like, roadmap. When you are using, for example, when you are driving and you've got GPS, it's easier to get from point A to point B. And this psychometric assessment or personality assessment is like a GPS, and it's much easier to get to your destination. So yes, and be aware that 97% of time you are not in the right course. Like when you are working with, you are, let's say, flying. What pilot is doing all the time, he's adjusting the plane to the right direction, and the same happens on our life. You need tools to do that, and
Right.
this is when psychometrics can help you.
What were some of the things that everybody was telling you that you were good at, which is why they believe that the lawyer or banker was the right path for you? And what was some of the things that you've noticed that your skill sets show that you should not have been a lawyer or a banker?
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. So everyone was telling me that I'm very good at speaking with people and convincing them to different things, and I'm good at telling people what to do, what next, and what to work on. So that was my, let's say, advantage. And the second part of your question, I felt that, learning just for the sake of learning, and when you're gathering data and knowledge and you have to read all of these interesting, important, and valuable books, of course, but it's not a joy for me, because when you have, let's say, 600 pages to read, that this is when you are, let's say, studying law, you have to read a lot of material. So it is easier now for me to read a lot of material in, let's say, short amount of time, because I know how to do that. It's like, speed reading or something like that. It's not, I'm not saying that they are teaching us how to speed reading in when you're on the university, but you have to do that because there's a lot of material, to read. But reading and having joy in life and doing something significant, important is a different story. So answering to your question, mm, that wasn't a right fit for me. I wasn't satisfied. I wasn't not only in terms of money, but of course in terms of helping people and doing something significant and important in life.
I can so relate to your talk about reading lawyer books and textbooks and case
Exactly.
studies. I think I had to do one course in law
Hmm.
when I was in university for engineering. So we were learning
Hmm.
engineering law, and that was the toughest course I've had to take because reading those case studies to me was so boring and so hard to get through. I can only imagine how much more that you had to read to get a lawyer degree and get as far as you did. Now, when it comes to transitioning from being a lawyer to being a banker to being an entrepreneur, at
Hmm.
each phase, was there somebody who told you, "Don't do it. You've done so much work here already. You're good at it. Why make that change?" Was there
Hmm.
anybody pulling you back? Was there people that supported your decision? How did you navigate through that?
Hmm. I wish I met those people that I'm working with now, but no, actually, I was discovering myself, so reinventing myself during the way. But the biggest mistake was that in that time, I wasn't working with coaches. And I was shifting to one position, next position, next position. I was looking for ways to, to do something important in my life, and also to have something, um, I would say, some impactful work to be done. And No. So I was discovering by my own and only working with FACET5. This is the stage of my life when everything changed. And actually, like I'm working with my first coach was like 5 or 6 years ago. Yes. So
Wow. Such a big change, especially
yeah.
coaching. For people who don't understand what coaching does, it's
Yes.
so important in our lives. We understand the impact of it in sports, in music, and all
Exactly.
that other stuff. But when it comes to business and it comes to career-wise,
Mhm.
people don't really think about coaches. You mentioned Face It 5, and
Mhm.
there's so many different personality tests out there, assessments out there. Kobe's
Mhm.
another very strong one that's around the world. What makes Face It 5 something that really spoke to you, that stood out
Mhm.
above all the rest?
Yeah, that's a very good question because, as you said, there are a lot of personality assessment and test in the market. However, in terms of competition, everything is online. So this competition is huge. But truly speaking, in terms of reliability and valuability of the tool, when you've got data, which is not like a horoscope or something you can, compare to different people and they can agree or not agree with that, that's a different story, but you have reliable tool which you can find yourself in the report and everyone is telling you, yes, that's me. That's powerful stuff. I don't know how after 15 minutes of filling the questionnaire, you know this about me, something which very often my own mother doesn't know about me. So this was a strange, when I was, 24 or 25 years old, I did my first FACET5 assessment, and feedback that I get, I was shocked how accurate this personality is. I am quite skeptical person as a typical left-brainer, and it's very hard to convince me. And I don't know what happened after. It's like it was like a magic, because I read the report and after the feedback session, I was working with a very wise person, but it's not about the knowledge. It's more about the atmosphere and also about the information that I get not only from the report, but also from the system. When you can compare, because it's not about the PDF, when you get the report, and of course it's interesting, but what is most important when you can use this data online. So I mean, you can log to the system and you can compare your scores to different things. Like you can compare your scores to because very often people ask me if it is a good idea to work on a corporate, let's say, company, corporate environment. And all the time I said, I don't know, because it depends what kind of corporate. Is it a Polish company? Is it a Swedish company? Is it a Chinese company? This matters. So you can compare your scores, for example, to different nationalities. I mean, how to work with people from Poland, how to work with people from Canada, sorry, how to work with people from Tanzania, let's say. And we have 40 different norm groups, so we can compare to 40 different, not only countries, but regions of world. And you can use different languages. So basically, it's like working with when we are together working with in FACET5 environment. Try to imagine that the person from China is working with a person from France, or to be more abstract, to person from Tanzania. If they both don't speak English, we have a communication problem, right? So the same happens on a daily basis when you can work on whatever factor, FACET5 factor you are speaking. Let's say the first one is, which is will, what's going on in your head, your the, will to do it. I mean, so when someone who has score 1, which is low, he's willing to listen to what other people have to say. He's very slow in deciding, but very happy to work together in a group. When you compare the score to someone who is very high, let's say on 10, very decisive, very fast, and speed of implementation matters. So from the, let's say, thinking to doing is like that, and the decision is made. It's like, person from China working with a person from Tanzania, both very different. So they need English language. And this is when we can help, because FACET5 is, like English. You can talk to everyone, and you can talk the same language, which is fantastic, because you can see the scores and you can see your profile. You can see, let's take my profile, let's take your profile, and system will do all the job for you. So you will have the instruction how to work, not only from my perspective, because I know myself, it's more about self-awareness. If you are working with someone who is self-aware, that's beautiful. Different story if you are not working with someone, if you are working with someone who is not self-aware. But what system will give you is also the other perspective. So now I know what you think about me and how to build this relationship and going to the next level. So using data, but remember that it's not only about data, it's more about human moment, connection between people, and creating atmosphere which everyone feels that this is something special. And that's why I'm working with FACET5.
That is very, very cool and unique. The fact that you could compare different countries and different backgrounds and different cultures, which a lot of other personality tests actually don't do, to see if you are good fits for different cultures and whatnot. Now, one thing for me when it comes to personality tests, you kind of mentioned it before. You said you were so shocked as to how accurate it is. Most of the time when we do personality tests, deep inside of us, we kind of know what kind of personalities we are. We kind of already know our weaknesses, our strengths, and doing the personality test then basically reaffirms, give us that awareness of that, okay, we are what we think we are. Was there something in the personality test for yourself that came out as a surprise that you had no idea, that you go, oh, I never thought about it that way, and this is something completely new that I had no idea about myself?
Yes, a lot of little things, which by the end of the day, small changes in results can, in psychometric results, can make great changes in real life. And according to your question, that was emotionality component, because we are different, because we are measuring also something which is invisible. Because we are measuring, this is a big 5 personality assessment. You asked about what the differences. So we are using positive language. That means everyone wants to share the report. It's not like you can, hide this report from everyone in the organization. You would be happy to share the report, because everything changes after that, and you will receive things that you would like to receive, not things that they think that is good to give you. Different story. But truly speaking, emotionality was a huge advantage for me, and this was something I didn't know about myself. And emotionality, we are measuring like will, which is your what's going on in your head, how you are deciding, thinking, and things like that. We are measuring energy, how you are acting. We are measuring affection, which means how you are creating relationships with people and what's going on in these relationships. We are measuring control, which is how you're handling tasks, and also emotionality, which is a huge advantage for me, because it's invisible. It's those 4. It was something which you can observe on the workplace, because it's like external, and emotionality, it's internal. What's going on inside you, and to be aware of your thoughts, of your feelings, what's going on inside, how you're reacting under the stress. So things like tension and apprehension. So how good you are at business situation when you are under stress, and if if it's a good idea to be an entrepreneur, or it's a good idea to be an employee. So, for example, this wasn't obvious for me, and I discovered why this is very hard for me to work as an employee, because of my will, because of my emotionality, because of my affection, because of my huge energy, and because of my control. So all 5, and also we have sub factors. It's more interesting when you can take a look at the data, and not only on the main scores, but we have also sub factors, and sub factors level give you this all information you need, because when you're taking a look at the profile and you see 5 factors, you know something. When you can take a look at 13 sub factors, you know everything. It's like Success is not a matter of, as you know, it's not a matter of luck or chance. It's a matter of choice. And when you are making the right choices, then the magic happens, and personality assessment can show you the way, because sometimes you are not aware, because during the brief, for example, feedback session, we are measuring how self-aware the person is. As a young guy, I wasn't as self-aware as I am now. So I didn't know things about me, not because I was stupid, but because that was something new for me. So you can ask, so why to take the personality assessment? And the first word is very important. Why? What is your why? Why you are doing this? So it's not about using this or that questionnaire. It's more about why you are doing this and what is your destination? What is your goal? And when we have those two, why you are doing this and what is your goal, now we can navigate from point A to point B, because we are measuring how self-aware you are. And when something, for example, you might think of yourself, okay, I'm at the wheel scale, I'm at 7. But the results, the real results, or the test is telling you that you are not 7, you are 4. So why this is the difference between 7 and 4? So maybe this is something which you want. That's why you are giving yourself 7. Or maybe something is blocking you from achieving something in your life. So all the time, the consultant or the person who is delivering the feedback session has to discover why this happens and how to help you. So it's like, going to a doctor and you would like to have good sense of knowing what's going on inside you.
Yeah.
And that's why coaches, mentors, and people like that are working with us, because it's easier to have diagnose. It's not about, if you are good or bad, it's more about how to help you and how to work on your potential. Because we are talking about two things during the feedback session, about your personality, about your goals also, but also about your business potential.
I love that you mentioned that because it's one of my pet peeves when it comes to these assessments is some people go, "Oh, well, my personality assessment tells me I'm this, and that's why
Mhm,
I did this, so that's my excuse. That's who I
mhm,
am. I can't change. That's why the results are the way they are." And they tend to use the results of a personality test as an excuse or as justification as to why they're not able to do something. Whereas personally, I believe that a personality test, as you said, if there's a gap in between the
mhm,
results and what personality test says, you should be able to utilize this and go, that's now my weakness. I should be able to work
mhm.
harder on this to get me closer to this goal. And that's why there's that gap,
Exactly.
which is, I think, very, very important in these assessments, is that you actually provide that help, that coaching, that what do you call it, that advice to help people bridge that gap to get them closer to that goal. Now, if that goal was not actually what their goal, what they really actually wanted, then you're able to help them adjust that goal to be what they actually want that is more achievable now because their goals were misaligned in a way
Mhm,
because their personality test shows that way, which I think is so important. Now, when it comes to helping organizations and implementing this into their organizations, how have you found FACET5 help with regards to HR, hiring,
mhm.
putting out the right messages out there to find and attract the right employees and all that kind of stuff. How has that changed the game for employers?
Mhm. It's very good question in what we are doing, because mostly we are working with HR departments. And when we would like to show what FACET5 is, we are speaking probably in most cases with boards, but our target audience is HR departments. So most of the time we are working with them and we are giving them the right tools, the right technology, the right knowledge to deliver processes, and also to be sure that by the end of the day, your decision is based on facts, numbers, statistics, and also you're not guessing. You know why you are doing this, why this decision has to be made. Yes. And our certification programs are designed to give you all the information and all the knowledge how to do that. It's not like, this is a tool for experts only, and you have to, have a certification to understand what's written in the report. You can read the report. It's very easy. It's very it was designed for business, so you don't need a certification to read the report. You need the certification to work with the tool and to know all the possibilities. It's like driving a sport car. So HR departments or HR people are like drivers to those sport cars. So they know how to ride, and also how to um, work on our tool. And basically every decision, starting from recruitment, selection, team building, changes in organization, leadership, and so on, is based on facts, numbers, statistic, and also reports. Because for every level of organization, starting from individual, I mean, when I'm working, for example, with you, I can tell you what are your strengths, what are your risks, what are your frustrations, sometimes challenges, what are your real talents and business potential is. But then when I'm working with your team and the people you are working on a daily basis, then we can move to the next level, which is a team level, and what's going on in your environment. What are the, positions for people, like, in a team. Who should do what and why, and also what are the risks, conflicts and things like that.
Yeah.
So this is beautiful to design what will happen, to create changes, and to be sure that everyone is happy. And after that, we are working on a global level or company level, when you can analyze all the data they gathered in the system. Let's say I'm working with a company that have 1,000 employees. When I have profiles of the employees, now I can take a look at the data and I can predict what people will do. But as you said, we very often people want to change something, but very rare is that they want to change their personality, which is quite hard. But they can easily change the behaviors when they know how to do that. So they know their personality profile. Now they understand how to use it and how to change behaviors on a daily basis to get the results. So it's like a manifestation formula. We are using this, starting from your thoughts leads to emotions, your emotions leads to actions, and your actions leads to result. And every component of this formula we are measuring. So for example, you are not sitting in your head and I don't know what you are thinking, but I can measure how creative you are or how assertive you are, something which it's not so obvious, especially when you are learning at school, for example, or even in university. So that was also one of the answers to your question. So when you are a young person, like 16 or 17, and you have such opportunity to fulfill a questionnaire and have the report, I think this is the best to young person to give him or her as valuable gift as that, because now the young person can understand what to do and to have fun in life, not to fight with himself and to reinvent every 2 or 3 years to the next thing. Okay, I'm now looking for something next because I'm bored, or or I'm not feeling this is a good job for me or good position.
Is this something that eventually can be implemented into school systems, or is that a whole new ball game? Like something that needs to be lots of
Mhm.
litigation or kind of rules to go through in order for that to be implemented?
That's from my perspective, it's one of my dreams. But the reality is, we are working with business, and schools are not designed to teach you business. That's why it's very hard to convince them to start using anything which explain young people what's really important in business. Because, in school, I'm not sure how do you think about school, and what is your opinion, but everything is quite different than in real life in business situation. Like, we've got lesson and then you have test. When you are an entrepreneur, you have test and then you have lesson, so it's quite opposite. And that's why my dream is, yes, that would be fantastic. But the reality is that we are working mostly with business and companies,
Right.
different story. But yes, I wish that could be a tool.
You talked about the hiring and using data and using the assessment to put out the right message to attract the right people. Now,
Mhm.
if I was asking you as a person who's hiring people, how much of it is the one-on-one intangibles that you feel and you see and you experience versus data that goes
Mhm.
into your decision of hiring a person? Like, for instance, in sports, you can go through courses, you could go through data, you could go through records and all those things and statistics all you want,
Mhm.
but there's still always that eye test, that those intangibles, the leadership in the room and all that kind of stuff that you can't specifically measure in data. So when
Mhm.
you're hiring somebody, in what percentage do you put it to data and what percentage do you put it on the eye test?
Mhm. I would say 50-50, or 60-40, something like that, because both components are very important. But truly speaking, when you have the right data, people are very well prepared to interviews and, when they wanted to have a job, they are prepared. They get the homework, they done the homework. However, they are not prepared to the FACET5 recruitment process because you are asking only about the things that they are not aware of. So, for example, we are using psychometric assessment to create the job description, and you have the description, and now system is comparing your scores or the score of the person to the profile. And during the interview, you are asking or not only asking but checking the correlation between what is your ideal, expectation and how the profile really is, and you are asking questions about that. So you're not only interviewing person, but you're checking, and also this is more about building the right atmosphere when you're debriefing or giving a feedback to a person, because now he's open, because you have the data, not the some data, you have accurate data, and it's about me, and I can feel that you are talking about me. That means I'm a partner. I'm not you're I'm a partner for you and not a sparring partner, which is a different story. So for me, data is very important, but also this human component is still something which cannot be replaced. And you have a lot of tools like AI, for example, today, and but truly speaking, we need people to make the right decisions, but based on the right data. So I think both components are very important. And that's why we designed the certification process to teach people how to use tools on appropriate, let's say, way.
Awesome. So
Mhm.
now next is team building, because that's something else that you help organizations do. And by doing these assessments, you're able to let the team understand each other and let
Mhm.
the team work better together. Now, in your experience, does a strong team consist of a group of people that vary a lot in personality, or are usually the same type of personality with just minor little tweaks? What's the
Mhm.
best team atmosphere?
Uh, you are asking about atmosphere or efficiency, because
Let's say efficiency. Let's go efficiency
okay.
first and then
Okay, 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 okay. So in terms of efficiency, the first one, so when you have different personalities, it's better, but also you have to have a strong leader, because in today's modern world, the real leader is managing not the skills, because you can manage your skills by your own, but you are managing the personality of your team. So when you know the personality of each person, now you can lead, not to guess, especially things that are hidden or invisible, like emotionality. it's very important to know if person has low or high emotionality, for example, because things like, turnover or frustration or, changing jobs, it's not a matter of, coincidence or things like that. It's more poor leadership skills. And it's not because you're a wrong leader or you don't have skills, but sometimes you don't have right tools because something is invisible. And when you know things like emotionality, now you understand why this person is behaving on a daily basis in this way, why he's nervous, for example, why he's under stress, why he's so efficient, but after that, something happens. He's sick or for, like, say, 2 or 3 days because now uh, the job is done, but after that, it's like, like a lemon. So it's your job is not to squeeze him,
Yeah.
but to mm, create a flower from him. I don't know if you know what the FACET5 really is. It's like, in Polish we have different name, which is diamond, and the facet is like a diamond. You are working on polish the diamond to spark or to make it to make a person be greater. And this is fantastic job, and for me it's like, dream job, because you are working with a person and you are giving him or her advantage, and after that his success is your success by the end of the day. Doesn't matter if you are working in corporate environment, if you are employee, or if you are an employer, or if you are an entrepreneur. Doesn't matter, because by the end of the day it's a teamwork. There is an old African proverb which states something like that: if you would like to go fast, go alone, but if you would like to go far, go together. And that's what we are very good at, to go together, not only to show the way, but also to bring people with you during the way, to lead by example.
Exactly. Very, very well said. Now, for somebody who totally understands their own personality, you know your
Mhm,
strengths, you know your weaknesses, you're a coach yourself, you now work with other coaches that help you.
mhm.
Now, what are some of the most game-changing advice or recommendations that these coaches that you work with now has given you that allowed you to even go farther in your career and in your entrepreneurship?
Mhm. Very, very often I'm starting from taking a look at the data, because working with Polish norm group or Polish people from Poland is different than working with people from Canada or from people from China, let's say. And small changes in norm, I mean, what is quite something common for your, let's say, nationality or for your country, could be something different for another country. For example, we in Poland are in the middle of scale emotionalities, like 5.5, because we are starting from 1 to 10. We don't have 0, so in the middle is 5.5. So we are quite, I would say, flexible. When you are working with people from China, that's a different story, because they're quite high on the emotionality scale. So this means that won't be easy for most of people from Poland to work with people from China. We have to adjust. And also, when you can take a look at your energy, for example, and my energy, that's very easy to combine these and to predict what will happen. And when I have the data, now I can adjust to your energy level, because it's like in physics, when you have vibration and frequency. When this adjust, we have move, and the same happens on a daily basis in business. When you can adjust your energy, your emotionality, your thinking style, your will, your affection, and how you're creating relationships. You know what's important not only for you, but WIIFM, what's in it for me, for him in this case. But this is based not only theoretical, what's important to me, because not all the time people will tell you. But when you have the right data, now you can open conversation, and they are shocked. How do you know that? And then they will tell you, because now you have trust.
Right. Very, very well said. Now let's put you back on the world
Mhm.
stage, and you have a few minutes to share with the world a message that you would like to everybody to remember. remember you for, what would that message be?
Hmm. I would say the good news is that every one of us have some kind of talent, but probably most of us won't know what is it. And when you can discover your talent when you are still very, very young, it's something very powerful. And my dream is to help people to discover these talents as sooner the better, I would say. So my dream is to make it happen, to to work on your strengths, on your goals in positive language, and also in fulfilling environment, and also to work with people who you think you belong to on your specific goals. So I would say that.
Nicely done. Thank you very much for all that. Great advice there. Before I let you go, I got five rapid fire questions. Give me the first thing that comes to mind. You're stranded on a deserted island, one food to
Mhm.
eat for the rest of your life, no consequence. So you'll still be healthy, you'll still be in shape. What's that one food that you would love to eat for the rest of your life?
Hmm. Probably strawberry.
Very nice. Hollywood calls and goes, "Hey, we would love to do a biopic of you because you're very inspiring and motivational. Who would you cast to play you in a movie?"
Hmm. I can choose from everyone I would like to, or do
Any,
I have?
anyone you like. It could be a Polish movie star that I don't know.
Okay. Hmm. It could be any historical figure or someone who is still alive.
Sure, it could be historical too.
Okay. 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 Hmm. That's a hard question for me because I have to think about that a little bit. Hmm.
Wow, you're going through your old like your list of movie stars quite a bit.
Yes. 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 But probably Al Pacino.
Al Pacino shows up at your door and goes, "Hey, I got cast
Yeah.
to play you. Let's go out, have some fun." And you go, "Hey, I got the entire night worked out, all planned out. What does that night with you and Al Pacino look like? What are you guys doing?"
Hmm. I would talk with him about his new book because I don't know if you're familiar with his new book, Sunny Boy, and I just started to read this book. And what relates to me is his vision of by the end of his days, sitting on this wheelchair and thinking about his life from his perspective. What have I done? Sorry, and not wishing that something I didn't try something. So this perspective of the by the end of his life or my life, and sitting on my wheelchair or something like that in my room and thinking of what nice life I had, and not regretting that I didn't try something or something like that. So
Awesome.
probably this, yes.
Great. And then also now he's hungry. And you go, "You know what? Come back to my place. I'll fix you my most famous dish." What is that one dish that you are willing to prepare as a meal to Al Pacino?
Mhm. I'm not good at cooking, but but probably cannelloni. That would
Cannelloni.
be my mind.
And one last question. Give me a number from 1 to 5.
Mhm.
Give me a number
Mm,
between 1 to 5.
Okay, so five.
One, two, three, four, five. So the word is mirror.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you were to use mirror as a metaphor for success, how
hmm
is success like a mirror?
hmm Okay. So mirror, as when you can take a look at the mirror, doesn't mean you are a specific way, because when you are working on data, we have descriptions. It's like you may be seen as. It's not like you are. So during the way in your life, you can change. For example, when you are young, you are looking a little bit different when you are, let's say, 60 or something like that. So all your life, you are changing. It's not like it's, written on the stone, and this is a mirror, remember, and it's reflecting yourself at each stage of your life. It's not one for all life, your whole life, but it's, you are changing, and your, let's say, picture yourself in the mirror is also changing. So be aware that you can adjust, and you can work on yourself to be the best version of yourself. And when you can, actually, it's like, I'm not sure if you heard that from Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was one of things that I remember, that if you close your eyes, that's the person which you can see reflects on the person you can see on the mirror. And when it's the same, that's fantastic. So mirror for me is like, it's a tool. It's not like I like myself or I not liking myself. It's more, working on myself. And you can change everything. So it's, for me, for example, it was self-awareness, and it's all started from working with FACET5, and then working with coaches. But I'm not talking about now working with people that are in different levels, for example, than you, but people who have the things that you would like to have in future. So they are the best of the best in what they do, and that's when, I was in 2013. For example, I was in Milan, Italy. I was inside the room with 900 different people from all countries in the world, and I was watching Joel Roberts from the stage. He was, on the stage, and he was doing magical things like interviewing people. And I wished to myself, one day I will be working with this guy. And this happens 10 years later. So, I'm working directly with him. He's one of my coaches, and I also have two more. So like JT Fox, for example, and also one in my Polish market, I'm working with Tomasz Kamol. However, looking at the mirror is to create the best version of yourself, if this makes sense to you.
Awesome. Nicely done. So that's how success is like a mirror. Thank you very much for your time. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you if they want their kids to do an assessment, if they want their company to go through working with you? What's the best way?
Of course, the best way is to visit our website, which is facet5global.com. Or the Polish, if you are living in Poland, you can search on our Polish website. I mean, local, doesn't matter, local or global, the same. And you will have all the knowledge about FACET5, how to start working with us. And probably the best way is to take a look at the website to see if this is something which you are interested in. And very often people start from, taking their own assessments to see if this is something which will make a significant difference in their life, and very often it does. So everything started from your how self-aware you are and why you are doing this. Because, if you are interested just to doing this because I have a lot of assessment and this is another assessment, maybe it's not a good idea for you. But when you're looking at something new, would like to invent yourself, or if you are looking for another business idea for your life, we may help or may have answers what to do next. But truly speaking, start from yourself and ask yourself why you are doing this. And technology is easy now. So business, it's quite complicated thing. But when you know your why, it's very important. It's very easy, to take tools that we have or different reports. But by the end of our conversation, I'm not sure if you know that, but from one questionnaire, when you are filling FACET5 questionnaire, it's only 15 minutes, and we can easily produce 28 different reports. But it's not about reports. It's more about possibilities, you know. It's more about your strengths, how you're working in team environment, how you're creating changes for people, how good leader you are, and things like that. So for each stage of your life and each decision that you probably would like um, to make, we have something which you can use. And this is for me real fun because, you know, it's not about the data, it's about creating possibilities for people and creating human moments to combine people together to work something significant and make the right decisions to get the right results by the end of the day.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that. So for everybody out there, if you want to get your young teens on an assessment, get in touch with Peter. And then also if you want to get your company to have these assessments to get better employees, to have your HR become more improved, more efficient, get in touch with him as well. Obviously, he knows what he's doing and he's very good at what he's doing. And it's going to help a lot of people become more successful, achieve more goals, and of course, unlock their human potential. So thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated. And my name is Fong. He is PIOTR. And until next time, today is the day to lock the peak potential. We'll see you later.
Thank you, Fong.